What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Creator Spotlight, the interview portion of the Spotlight. Myself and Jeremy Lambert here. This is Steven Jensen, of course, and we have a special guest today. He goes by many aliases, many names. Some may know him as Ninja Mack. Some may know him as Ninja Fuck Mack. Some may know him as Ninja Kamikaze Mack. Sometimes he's got a mask, sometimes he doesn't. And he is one of the most exciting wrestlers on the independent scene, one of my favorite wrestlers in all of Game Changer Wrestling. We have Ninja Mack. How you doing, man?
What's going on, y'all? Y'all doing good? How y'all doing, Fightful? How's everything going? Y'all want to make a bet today?
Yeah. So what are we betting? Let's do this.
Hey, well, I mean, we got big bets. We got Collective this weekend with WrestleMania weekend. You got so many shows going on this weekend. I mean, you got so many people on the spotlight. You got mega stars coming up, and y'all got lots of bets y'all can make everywhere. So we're gonna make lots of bets on this.
We're gonna bet on all your matches at the Collective and through WrestleMania.
Hey, let's get a number, get some over and unders on my matches going on. Let's see if we get some inside information or something. Maybe I'll get banned like some of these receivers at the NFL.
well, Ninja, why don't we start off with that? Tell the people listening right now, what do you have coming up at the Collective? This is a humongous weekend for wrestling.
Yeah, man. With that many people going to WrestleMania and all the indie shows coming up, you know, they capitalize on the market that's going to be there. So it's good eyes trying to get new audiences, especially with everyone in COVID and being online. There's going to be so many eyes just online too that's going to be there. It's such a weekend. I think at the moment I have 9 matches confirmed. I can't release everything just because I haven't announced all the matches. I got a potential 13, and that's nothing with Saturday yet. So just kind of rubbing off Thursday, Josh Barnett Bloodsport, 3 p.m. I'll be there, Yo-Yo. I heard you talking shit online. I don't read those messages. I've been watching them. Just bring your mouthpiece. Bring your mouthpiece, Yo-Yo. Let's see. Thursday, Joey Spring Break's going to happen. That show's going to be humongous. You don't want to miss any of the spring breaks. Let's go into Friday. Early show 11, you know, they got tons. I don't want to say the wrong show. I'm not on the 11, but I will be there. I just don't remember the name off the top of my head. 3 o'clock's happening for Collective. 7 o'clock, Ninja Mack's going to be at Ring of Honor. That's going to be my debut for Ring of Honor. And they're keeping me very mysterious because they have not told me any kind of opponent, which I don't mind. I'm going to take on anyone you put. But, you know, I do like those big old Ring of Honor names. So we'll see what happens. But that's at 7. And I'm a little kamikaze, if y'all don't know. I booked myself for AR Fox with Lucha for GCW. So I got Ring of Honor at 7. I got Gringos the World on Lucha at 7:30. So in my eyes, I'm hoping I'm not double booking at the same time, but we're going to just make it work. And then after that, I got Spring Break at midnight with Joey Janela. So you can always bet on GCW. These shows are going to be wild. Always bet on Ring of Honor. Always bet on Ninja Mack. But, I mean, just Thursday and Friday alone, I'm going to be running through 7 matches announced. So it's about to be a very, very wild weekend.
You were part of WrestleMania weekend last year, and it was a little bit calmer last year because there was still COVID and everything. And so the WrestleMania attendance was like half. And I know that not every company in the world was running like they're running this year. Like, to be part of this weekend, what are you expecting compared to last year?
Well, with last year, just a little brief history of Ninja. I was wrestling, family happened. I had a child. So I ended up taking about 2.5 years off of wrestling. And it was a great decision. 1, you get to rest your body. 2, just being a dad, I always recommend him. You know, I'm not saying everyone should go have kids, but I love being a dad. I love my kid, and he's such a blessing and a great time. Everyone should have kids if you're good enough to handle them. But, when COVID hit and all the gyms were kind of shut down and I needed to go back to training, I can't just sit still. I ended up starting to train. We started local wrestling in Houston, Texas. I did about 3-4 months of local wrestling, and I got a call from AAA. I got a call from Pro Wrestling Nova, and I got a call from GCW about 2 days after I had a match at Dragon Bane in March. Now, going forward, with Noah and AAA reaching out, being international at the time, the travel restrictions were very hard. So my travel plans with them got pushed back. But with GCW making contact, I just took the bet on myself. They only offered me, hey, come do the first match, Jimmy Lloyd's D-Generation F show, Scramble Fuck Fest. And to me, I've never been in a scramble, or let alone a fuck fest. And I was like, man, you know what? Let's go. And I end up getting my own ticket to Tampa. I literally end up sleeping under the ring, in the ring that weekend for 2 of the 3 nights to make this happen, just, cut costs efficiently. And last year was my debut for GCW at the Collective. And I end up doing 4 matches for them, but I ended up doing like 8 matches at the Collective last year on the spot, only booked for that one. So the last year in Tampa being the first GCW Collective I did, and I know everyone was coming out of the COVID era, was very light, but you give me 1 whole year after running with GCW, I have very big plans this week to make sure I make very big statements at the Collective.
Yeah, I remember last year too. Like you really broke out last year. Like everyone was talking about, you were doing stuff no one had seen. I mean, you're doing like 630 Phoenix splashes and doing like not just like Sasuke specials, but adding like multiple extra flips into it. I mean, it was mind blowing stuff. And what's it mean for you to do WrestleMania weekend, the Collective, and all that this year in Texas? Because I've seen a lot of your work in like the Houston area, and like you're really well known like in that region of wrestling.
Yeah, so when I started, I used to do a lot of circus jobs. So I was definitely a circus athlete right before I got into pro wrestling. On my last circus tour, there was a wrestler, and growing up, I did a lot of the flips at the open gyms, but I did amateur wrestling my whole life. My whole family's an amateur wrestling family. I'm the oldest of 7. All my brothers and sisters went to college on wrestling scholarships. I just did my first year of college, and I was very uninterested. So I ended up actually getting over to Vegas, doing a tryout, getting into the circus. And then that last circus tour, meeting that guy that was a professional wrestler, he recommended seeing we would shoot wrestle at the hotels to kill time. He recommended with all the flips I could do and the kind of shoot style wrestling I could already do, go find a wrestling school and go give it a try. And I flew home, and just lucky enough, I'm from Houston, Texas. I don't know if y'all know, there's a very, very big star who has a great wrestling school in Houston, Texas.
I am 5-time champion, perhaps?
About 5-time champ. Yeah, 5-time. That man, I love Booker T. That guy changed me so much when I first get him, and you get to see the presence of a WWE superstar, how they walk in, how the eyes turn to them. And even on the first day, seeing his presence, and I was like, you know what? Just to get that and have those eyes on you walking in is something special. And with the circus, I was you're part of acts. You get 8 to 10 people in an act. In wrestling, maybe it's selfish of me, but I like the attention. I like when it's one-on-one or 3 people in a ring rather than 10 people on a show. So I want the eyes on me. I want the attention. So meeting Booker, I just started training. I never went back and did one circus job since the day I met Booker.
What's the best piece of advice you've gotten from Booker T?
Man, there's so much. It's hard to just pick one. So, everything he preaches, like it doesn't click at first right away. When you're a year in, you're very excited. You want to get all your moves in. You want to learn stuff real fast. To quote Book, I would say the best thing I learned is find your Romeo and Juliet. Find your Shakespeare moment. Everyone at a big level is going to be athletic enough. Everyone's going to be able to do all the big moves. What's going to help you stand out and capture these eyes? Because especially when you get into these high levels and the way athletes are now, everyone can do drop kicks. Everyone can do the 450s. Everyone can do the big moves, the big spots. Everyone's very, very good at what we do now. So what are the little things? What's your Romeo and Juliet? What's helping you stand out? Your Shakespeare, the moment. So I keep that in mind, always thinking of Booker, just especially as quick and lucha I am. I slow down, and then you see, whoa, yeah. And those little things, I didn't understand the first year, and he would repeat it, and he would repeat it. He's constant with it. and stepping away from wrestling and taking that break and coming back and being able to see what people are doing, it really clicked for me and understand. And so I don't know if I found my Romeo and Juliet, but I might have found my Ninja and Juliet. So
what's it been like having maybe like some camaraderie or like other people kind of coming up along with you from that scene? Like, you know, we've seen a lot of success from Roxy recently getting a WWE contract. You got Mysterious Q, you got Brian Keith, you got other guys like sorry, go ahead, Ninja.
I'm saying that's just a testament to Booker. All of them went through Booker T school, Reality Wrestling. He's so good at what he does, and I'm not saying he just does handouts, because he'll, if you're there and you're putting in the work, he will give you the time. His phone's open. Now, obviously, you ain't trying to blow Booker up at night because, you know, you suck might slap you, but it's like he'll give you your time. If you're giving him time in the ring, he sees you're putting in time, you're actually performing in matches, he will give you the time and always be there. So just to see BK get out, Mysterious Q, Ryan Davidson, even Roxy coming up, and she was just at Books for a short time, just to be around. She's such a good talent. I mean, that was the last Ring of Honor Women's Champion at such a young age. And you know what? She got scooped up by WWE. So that shows you that, man, if you're in Texas or if you need a wrestling school, get down to Booker T's Reality Wrestling in Houston, Texas.
I want to talk about Bloodsport because it's one of my favorite shows during WrestleMania weekend. And I think when people see you, they see the gifts and everything. They see the aerial moves, and you're part of the Aero Lucha show as well, or Gringo Loco show.
Yep.
And like, so doing Bloodsport, you mentioned your shoot background. Like, why did you decide to do Bloodsport on top of everything else? Like, what drew you to do that show as well?
You know, so being at the Collective last year, being an amateur wrestler growing up and then doing the circus jobs, I was already really athletic. And the whole time doing circus jobs, I've always been, you know, growing up Power Rangers, martial arts, Bruce Lee, Three Little Ninjas. Like those are the movies I was into. Ninja Turtles. So I was already doing martial arts with my amateur wrestling. So at this point, you know, into the circus, and I travel 6 months, I get 2 months off. I'm rolling around in jiu-jitsu on my time off. I'm doing Muay Thai. I'm doing kickboxing. I'm doing some amateur wrestling. And, you know, my brothers that got out of amateur wrestling rolled right into MMA. So with them going to training at MMA, I'm sparring with them. You know, I'm getting my ass whooped. My brother's about 40 pounds heavier than me. But it's been my whole life in wrestling. But, you know, you train. And I fought. I got 2-0 in some amateur league. I haven't done one professional fight, but, you know, playing around with amateur, I mean, I was able to fight, get around, and I think taking what I do and the way I do things now, I think able to do Bloodsport is going to be like a preview to what I can show, what I'm going to pull off with Noah. I think people have gotten very spoiled with me at GCW, and you see the crazy high flips and the high crazy spots, but you got to remember that is GCW. We're very extreme, very game changing, and we want to test waters. We want to see. But if you ever you see me at Loco Wrestling, you see me in a Ricky Reyes match, you didn't see crazy ninja flips. We had a good wrestling match, clean, very easy, hard hitting. So I play very multiple styles. I don't want to just be known as a good aerial artist, which, like I said, I think I've proven that a little bit, and I hope I have. But I also want to show that there's more than just flips and spots for me.
Well, you also have a nasty rear naked choke. I mean, we've seen you end quite a few matches with that RNC, like most notably this past weekend, taking out Joey Janela, you know, heading into the Collective, which I think a lot of people were surprised about with Joey having that big match with X-Pac, and then like you get this big submission win. I've also seen you transition. I love when you do like you'll like fake out your finisher off the top, and then like it'll lure your opponent into like a sense of security, and then you'll roll them right into a rear naked choke. So like you do have some submission skills that you've showed off in the past as well. Yeah,
you know, I said I know a lot of submissions in jiu-jitsu, and what shows it's presentation, but in the air, I'm very comfortable in the air. And I know it looks very fast when I'm doing the crazy flips. But if I see you roll out the way, it doesn't make sense to me for me just to eat shit on the floor when I can stop myself and see you roll in the air. Why wouldn't I stop? I can see everything. I know people are like, oh, dude, you're doing all this in the air. But that, to me, it's not like that. I can jump in the air, and in that 630, I can probably count every single person in that front row in the air. I can see the person in the ring. So if I can see you moving and I'm in midair, I don't see a point to sit there and take a pointless beating to where I can stop myself. So, it's capitalizing on opportunities you create.
Yeah.
You mentioned Pro Wrestling Noah, and you've got Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf at the end of April. By the way, Dragon Bane, Alpha Wolf, Ninja Mack is just not the coolest like name triple threat in the history of wrestling. How did this appearance come about?
So like I said, with local wrestling, shout out to Jaime and Pedro that kind of like got me back into wrestling. With Dragon Bane coming in, we do local wrestling has a very ECW AAA feel. And it's a very, very tight group of us, and we pull in very big names. So when we were pulling in these big names, and I was doing 2 good matches for them, and they're like, "Hey, let's give you a good name." And they're like, Dragon Bane, I didn't even hear the guy before, but I got to see some couple clips and some videos, and the luchador, he's phenomenal. We go out there and we have a killer match, and I say Noah. I believe, I don't want to misquote this, he was working for Noah in 2019 already. So when we had that match and Wrestling with Unicorns posted their clips, and those clips went up for over 100,000 views, Noah got attention to that. And when Noah got attention to that, and they saw that one of their own wrestlers taking on a ninja, well, it called, and they called me 45 minutes after the match in the locker room. So when they reached out, it was a very big opportunity for me to take. And then for him to be able to take that opportunity to go meet me back in Noah, I've wrestled Bane in the United States. I've wrestled Dragon Bane in Mexico now, and now April 29th, I'm going to get a chance to wrestle him in Japan. So me and him we're already going worldwide with our matches. So we got some big things coming, and then I haven't got a chance to wrestle his brother yet. So to put us in a 3-way, this might be the most epic 3-way Pro Wrestling Noah's ever had.
Yeah, speaking of all this, like, how excited are you to like start going international? Because I know it's like it was in the plans for a while, and obviously the pandemic and stuff halted that. But like, I know, like, I remember your announcement that you were heading to Pro Wrestling Noah like a handful of months ago, and like people on the internet were going nuts. They're like, "Dude, Ninja Mack and Noah, this is gonna be insane." So like, how excited are you that like now you are able to go out there and do stuff internationally?
Oh, I'm very excited. I think growing up, I watched a lot of AAA in Texas, and then there was what really hooked me, because Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan was not the only company that called. They were one of 4 companies, and they did not offer the most money. They did not offer the most bookings. But me growing up as a wrestler and watching Pro Wrestling Noah, I knew their history. I knew what I liked, and I've watched them, and it meant a little more for me to take a little less money, take a little less bookings, get over to Noah, because it's something I watched. And when I came back to wrestling, I made a checklist, and my checklist was to wrestle for AAA and to go wrestle for Noah within 2 years of coming back. And for them to call me 6 months back into wrestling and AAA to call me, and I'm like, man, this checklist is happening. Bam, check. Bam, check. And then you got to cross out Noah because it got pushed back. Finally, to be able to check this off and make it happen is such a relief, but it's so very exciting. I'm so excited. They have such good talent over there. It's a whole new world. Literally a whole new world I can experience. Everyone over there I've never wrestled. That's another 30 to 40 to 50 new wrestlers. And my goal is to get as good as I can right now. And I'm only going to do that by wrestling better wrestlers and new wrestlers to get better experience.
You mentioned other companies. Can you tell us who they are? And if not, any plans to still be open to wrestling for those companies in Japan?
I cannot. I would love to, but I can't mention them. And I do appreciate them reaching out, because with Noah, I was negotiating between 3 companies at the time, and it was a very heavy decision. And I appreciate every company that reached out and wanted to do business, because I'm always about business. But to my understanding too, now that I've chosen Noah, I have closed some doors on some other shows. So it was very pick one and let's ride, which I'm fine with. I've made my decision. I do appreciate those other companies. So if y'all are listening, I really do think y'all made some big bets, and I do appreciate it. And maybe one day in the future, if things open up like we are in the Indies in the States and we do mesh over there, because Noah did just do some New Japan work. So they did kind of mesh and test the waters. And to my understanding, Noah might be doing a little work with Dragon Gate. I don't want to put anything out there. I see some things. You never know. Maybe I do some cross promotion work if they're allowing it. But just as I said, I'm going to ride it out with Noah. I've chosen Noah. I'm now Noah Ninja. That's going to be my hashtag going forward to get some representation for Noah there. So.
Hell yeah. You mentioned the circus a couple times, and this is kind of a two-part question. First part being, were you wrestling and then went into the circus and then went back to wrestling? And then the second question would be, what did you do in the circus? Like, what was your actual like stunts and role while you were in the circus?
No, so I went to college. In my first semester of college, I was very unhappy. You know, I used to be in the gym 6 hours a day training, and then you go to college and now you're free. You just got to go to class. You don't have a set schedule anymore. So now that I'm going to class and I'm free, I'm not going to training as much. So I was very unhappy my first semester. So I ended up going to the circus, no pro wrestling at all. I was just out of amateur wrestling, out of the gyms, go to the circus, do 6 years of the circus, on and off. But while I'm in the circus, I mean, all my time's off. I come home and I train. Like I said, I was training jiu-jitsu, martial arts. Like I said, I was training my brothers in amateur wrestling in high school. So I went circus from 19 to 25. At 25, when I came back, I cut that off and I went straight into pro wrestling since. For about 3.5 years of pro wrestling, I took about a 2.5 year to 3 year break, and then I've been back this last year. So it was circus, pro wrestling. There was never like a mixture of them. I've kept them pretty separate. Now, talking about some of the acts in the circus, I would say that was almost a big reason why I left, because I got to do a lot of the flips on the trampoline. I got to do a lot of trapeze. I was swinging on the roofs. But when you're doing these acts, you need 8, 10, 20 people to do a show like that. It's not just one person. So when I'm doing my acts, if you're in a group, you're not making as much money as if you're doing a solo act. I mean, just numbers wise, since there's 8 people doing one act for 15 minutes compared to one person doing an act for 15 minutes, you're not going to get paid as much. And like I told you earlier, it might just be me and myself. I might be just selfish, but I want the attention. I want eyes on me. I want everyone to look at me. So I end up, like I said, with pro wrestling, I got the chance to get eyes on me with one-on-one. Circus, I did trapeze. I did, like I said, the trampolines. I've done fire spinning in the O show, island fire spinning with the bow staffs. I used to light the ground on fire. I do handstand acts, handstand balancing acts. I was never really a really 6 foot tall big guy to be the bottom base. So I was always the very top guy doing all the handstand positions, but I do have a very wide frame. So I got to learn how to do both. I got to be the base. I got to be actually the person on top. And I've tried some stuff. We're doing like 3-way handstand acts, which was wild. But I mean, there's so many countless acts. I'd have to go back. I could probably say I've been in between 8 to 10 different acts with the circus, all with different skill sets. And I've not brought any of that to pro wrestling yet. I've been holding off a little bit just to kind of let this year buzz and have some more stuff go into the future for sure.
You were announced for Ring of Honor on March 1st. And like literally the next day, Tony Khan announces he's bought Ring of Honor. You're still on the show. Yeah, you're still in the show. Have you talked to Tony about like what's happening about anything?
Nope. I know they announced him March 1st, but the people I was in contact with was I want to say about 2 weeks before that when they reached out. Because they reached out and they wanted they want to do business. They want to hear numbers. They want to make sure you're available. But at the time, they gave me a list of some opponents. I was like, yeah, all of them are great. Please, that one you start off with, phenomenal. I would love it. The other two, even like great, I'll take them. And then I get announced. And when they announced me, I thought I was going to get announced with my match, and that's how I was going to find out. But when they announced me, it doesn't happen. And the next day, Tony Khan buys Ring of Honor. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This is new. That's something I thought they would have brought up. That's another company buying another company booking me. But yeah, I have no contact. Never talked to Tony Khan before. I had AEW reach out to me. I want to say June of last year for an AEW Dark match, and I appreciate the opportunity. But at the time, I wasn't able to do AEW Dark, so I had to I had to tell them no. So, going forward, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But right now, I'm winging it. I'm hoping someone shows up for a good opponent. If not, I'll go out there and I'll go 10 minutes entertaining by myself in front of a crowd with a mic. It's not a problem to me. So give me an opponent. Don't give me an opponent. It won't matter. I'm going to go out there no matter what for 10 to 15 minutes and entertain.
As I said during the intro, sometimes you got a match, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're Ninja Fuck Mack, sometimes you're Ninja Kamikaze Mack. Sometimes you start the match with a mask and you might get unmasked during the what is is it like a conscious thing, or is it like a feeling? Like, how do you decide kind of what version of yourself you're going to put out there? I know some of it, of course, has to do with like the crowd. Little kids might not want to, you might not be Ninja Fuck Mack in front of a group of little kids, but outside of that, like in GCW, even you seem to mix it up a lot. So kind of where does that come from?
So when I came back and I was trying to, you're trying to figure out what you're doing. I knew I was going to do that ninja route. When I came back with local wrestling, I wore the black mask, not my traditional one I have now. I wore an all black mask. It stood out because you couldn't see anything. It was literally just a black mask. It looked like you were just looking into a black hole. My idea was, because I wrestled in Texas with so many luchadors, and I told you Loca has that AAA ECW kind of baby vibe. I would, it started off when I would wrestle luchadors, I would walk out with the mask and I would take it off. They're luchadors. I got a little respect for luchadors. I'm not going to wear a mask while they're wearing a mask. But also when I was wrestling the American wrestlers, because I did so much lucha and I understood that when they wear a mask and it means something, it's an intimidating presence, it gave them confidence, I would keep the mask on in my match against Americans just to, maybe throw them off. And that it started like that. It was mask on for Americans, mask off for luchadors. And that's why you saw me without a mask. Going into GCW, I would just wear the mask on and I would take it off at matches, especially one-on-ones. It was a little hard to breathe. It wasn't very a good performing mask. So I say with Dante Leon, we had that match for JCW that kind of went viral. I had that mask off, but knowing I'm about to do 25 minutes, I'm not trying to restrict myself from breathing. I'm going to give Dante my best and trying to take that win. So, it is a design. There's a market design behind it. But now, I don't know if y'all know, I do professional gambling. That's the whole want to make a bet that. I've merged my gambling and my ninja together. That's where the combination of all this is. So when you see ninja now, it's evolved to where it's not mask on, mask off anymore. I've evolved into the red, black, like a roulette table. You got red and black on roulette. Y'all know the third color on roulette?
Green? No.
Green.
Oh, okay. I was right.
Yeah, no one ever bets green. No one ever bets zero or double zeros. Never comes. So when I got my red and my black gear, I got a green gear. I've never shown it. I'm the only one that's ever seen my green gear. I made sure I got that in Noah colors too. So Noah, watch out. You never know when that's popping up. But I have not even shown my kid that green gear. I have not even shown my lady that green gear. That thing is hidden just because no one ever bets zeros. I just wanted to have it. And I'll have the right time to pull it off.
I want to talk more about professional gambling now. How do you get into professional gambling, and what is your area of expertise or your go-to game?
Well, growing up, I got to play a lot of Texas Hold'em. You watch World Series of Poker Tour online and the websites. And growing up, I always like to go hang out with my friends and play Texas Hold'em. And then now that I get into casinos and I'm playing with big dogs on high roller tables, it's a little different. You learn, but I sit at tables. I go sit blackjack. Really, all my merch money at Atlantic City, I'm either quadrupling it at the casinos or I'm losing it all. So like GCW it's a double-edged sword for me. I might say I have a gambling problem. I might be calling that 1-800 I need help hotline or something. But dude, I've always enjoyed gambling. I've always been very good with numbers. And I'm not saying I'm a card counter because you can't do that because it's illegal. But because I'm so good with numbers, blackjack came very easy to me. And then also just with being in the circus and being an entertainer and a pro wrestler already, you have good eyes to read people. And since I can already read people in the way they kind of fidget their hands or their body motions, I got a good read when someone's bluffing, when someone's actually has something. And, a lot of people say gambling It's risky, but if you're calculated and you're controlled, it's just like a job to me. I can go out there and do 8 hours on a poker table, make $400 a day, just sitting there and making sure I'm making the right decisions. Also, with the gambling, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I gamble in my matches. I take big gambles in my matches. That's that kamikaze theme to where I'm taking long shots. I'm pulling off anything I can. I'm trying to do anything I can to make it work. Also, if you see me at a merch table at one of these shows, I make bets. You want Ninja Mack merch and you want to make a bet with me? No problem. I gamble anything. You know what? You want half off on my shirt? Coin flip. Call it in there. Bam. Bam. You got it wrong? I want double. You got it right? Half off. I'm willing to make bets, and I think it's also good for fan interaction for my merch table. Cause I got little tricks. I do coin flips. I do, hey, let's play paper, scissors, rock. Or if you ever come to one of my loco shows, my merch table is my blackjack table, and I'm the dealer at my merch table. And if you want to buy Ninja Mack merch, play a blackjack hand with me.
That's awesome. I've actually heard about that. I have some friends in the Houston area that have met you, and they've told me about this kind of stuff. So yeah, really, really interesting. Really cool how you've merged the gambling and the ninja and all into kind of one really cool package. Somebody that you mentioned a minute ago is Dante Leone, and y'all wrestle each other a lot, whether it be singles or like scramble matches, tag team matches. Kind of let the people here at Fightful who might not know so much about Dante know a little bit about him, because the two of y'all seem to be kind of joined at the hip to a degree, but like your matches are always incredible. Yeah, we had a killer match on Friday, and I unfortunately got a loss in Texas on Dante again. I literally had him on the floor, and I slipped up with a little bit of laziness and talking some shit to a kid, and he rolled me up and got the win on Friday. So we are joined at the hip. We both came into the collective. So with local wrestling, I know he's out of Dallas. I met Dante that January, and we had a match that January, and that's what popped Wrestling with Unicorns, that match. And it popped us, and that's what got me match with Dragon Bane. But that match with Dante Leon, if that match doesn't happen, I probably don't get the match with Dragon Bane. I probably don't get called by GCW. We probably both don't go to the collective. When we get called and we show up at the collective, you're like, hey, these guys just made it work. They came in. Two Texas boys came in. They stood out. You know what? Let's give them a chance at JCW. Let's bring them up. We go to JCW. We're going to be semi-main. You know what? Cool. Beautiful. Joey comes up to us as match 6 is ending and goes, look, guys, we're going to put the pressure on you. We're going to switch it. Y'all are going to be main event, double the time, pull it the fuck off. Show me what you can do. And me and Dante look at each other. You know what? Fuck it. Let's make it happen. We go out there. We have that killer JCW match. And since then, it's, like you said, we're joined by the hips. It's just some people you have that magic chemistry with. I mean, I never met the guy until January when we had that first match, and it clicked. We had that next match at the collective, clicked. We had that main event at JCW, it clicked. Now, a lot of people say we're very close friends. I don't know about friends. I would say more rivalry, because I still want to whoop his ass every time I see him. But, I've had the chance to tag with him now, take on some very big level opponents like the Briscoes, get a Jordan Oliver and a Nick Wayne, some two young and uprising stars come in there that try to take us on. And I think with the amount of respect we have for each other and our rivalry, we put some shit to the side and make these tag matches work. But you know what? We're still going to go out there and hit each other really hard in singles. So I think it's a good best friend rivalry relationship coming into the world. And I think a lot of people are going to end up watching that for many years to come.
My last one for you here is, what is the coolest thing in your room?
I'm sorry, I heard coolest thing.
Coolest thing in your room.
Coolest thing in my room.
Yeah, in the room you're in right now. Like, what's the coolest
thing? You want to see which swords, which bow staffs, what nunchucks, what world titles, what kind of belts you want to see.
I thought you had a bow staff behind you.
So earlier I told you I did a lot of, with my circus, I do a lot of fire spinning. So this was actually the bow staff I would use in my circus shows to light on fire, spin around on fire, light the stage on fire. So that's the pretty one. That's very pretty, professional. And that's the one I get to light on fire that they don't let me use yet, because they don't like their buildings to end up on fire in matches. But it's going to happen one day. You can bet that. And then let's see what else I got. You know, a fancy one, you know, a really expensive one. I kind of invest in myself. Little Bruce Lee nunchucks, made a nice little marble. Yeah. But you know, just between me and Fightful in the spotlight, when Ninja Mack gets ready to do death matches, you ain't gonna see no light tubes. Fuck that. You're gonna see boards. You're gonna see throwing stars. You're gonna see nunchucks. I ain't doing no light tubes. You bring your light tubes, I'm bringing my sword. Good luck. We're gonna find out how far you go.
I've seen you throw throwing stars at people before. As a matter of fact, I know you've used those in matches before.
You know, I only GCW. You can only do that at GCW. Throw some throwing stars at people. But hey, you know, going over to Japan, I've heard they're a little more willing to try some stuff, and some people want to take it. So you never know what's gonna happen. Bet that.
I mean, that's the argument, right? Is like, oh, it's a no DQ match. Why doesn't he bring the sword to the ring? Why doesn't he bring the knife to the ring and just stab the person? It's like, oh, we're not going to do that. Fuck that. You're bringing the sword. You're bringing the ninja stars.
Oh yeah, I'm bringing swords. I'm bringing ninja stars. I'm bringing 40 kunai knives. Bring your fucking light tube. Bring your doors. I learned what GCW does. I've been there the last year, and I did this every time they asked. No, I ain't doing death matches until y'all prove me to bring my fucking swords and I can light them on fire. Fight me with your light tube. I'm bringing a sword. I'm bringing fucking nunchucks. And if you don't allow that, sorry. Like, I'll wait.
You mentioned, you know, of course, Booker T being a big influence, and you know, obviously your background in the circus and all the athletic stuff that you can do. Who are some people, like, as you're kind of forming your style, or even maybe that have nothing to do with your personal style, but who are people that you like as a wrestler, like as a fan of this, and like kind of forming your own art out of this? Like, who are some people you look up to that you kind of follow as a fan?
You know, I'm very caught up on history. I keep up with a lot of Les Kellett. I love some catch wrestling. 1980s right there. Man, if you're talking favorites and very influenced, I mean, Chris Benoit has got to be number one, and Eddie Guerrero. That whole group right there, Chris, Eddie, and Ray. If I really felt like I was the baby of someone, it'd be Chris Benoit, Rey Mysterio, and Eddie Guerrero. Like those three, I feel like that's just merged into me. Like I said, with Booker T training me, man, that was very good. But he's also he's a very different style than what I do. Someone related to my style, I would say, just going forward. There's a big reason I chose Pro Wrestling No was Daniel Bryan. I mean, just watching him do it, seeing what he went through and what he was able to capitalize and what he showed. I mean, I remember those matches, and that was a big influence to me. And Daniel Bryan's got to be one. Loki's a very big influence to me. Loki's been a very big help to Ninja Mack this year. He doesn't take a lot of people arms open, and I think when he saw me, and when I'm not one to sit and wait to go meet someone. I go straight up to the person, shake their hand, introduce myself, and we clicked when I met him. And not everyone clicks with Loki, and he's been very arms open, phone's always open anytime I've messaged. And not to say, we did have a match, but he's always been able to guide me in the questions I needed this last year. Especially with, man, it's been wild going over here, going over there. And I needed to have someone that's been there, been at that level to just answer a couple questions. So Loki this year helped a lot. You know, Daniel Bryan related to Noah, and then if I'm to relate my style and me as kind of watching some wrestling, man. Yeah, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. If they had a baby, I think that'd be Ninja Mack.
Jensen, let's make a bet on Ninja Mack's opponent for ROH. Okay.
Hey, we got some odds going. I think Kevin Gill might have started a little online thing for me. You know, putting out some bets on. I don't know if it was Twitter, but he was trying to take some odds on who my opponent was going to be because I haven't said anything. So we were trying to get some gambling going online.
I can tell Jensen's like looking up.
I'm looking up the current card because I want to make sure. Because I was gonna say maybe like a Swerve or an Alex Zane, but they're wrestling each other.
Yeah, they're wrestling each other.
Yeah.
Hey, that card for Ring of Honor, if y'all have not seen it, Ring of Honor is bringing some fire for that show. Every single match could be main event on every show. Tony, if he's booking that, because like I said, I haven't been in touch with anyone. So if Tony's actually the one booking everything, that man is bringing so much fire to that show because every single one of those matches are main event level matches.
Jensen, who are you taking? Because I have my pick. I got a couple picks, but I've got a main one that I'm feeling sort of confident about.
See, it's hard because we don't know who's going to be there. There's so many options, especially now with like the AEW
Everybody's
potential.
Gonna be there. That's what I.
Yeah,
I
would say I did request when I took this match. I did request an alumni of Ring of Honor for my match.
Okay.
Someone that was influenced. Now this was before the purchase, so I don't know if that's reasonable. But on my request, I didn't just want to have a random match. I wanted to have a match with someone related in the history of Ring of Honor. So if they go through with that, I think it will be someone that was related to Ring of Honor previously. I don't think it'd be anyone unrelated to Ring of Honor.
Now, I don't know what his current status is, but a dream match for me, if we're going somebody that has some history in Ring of Honor, would be you versus Amazing Red.
Oh,
that was the first name that was thrown out when they offered, and to my understanding, he's slowed down on taking some bookings. He's very selectful with his bookings, which he has the right to do. I mean, the guy's great. He's been around forever. And if he ever wanted to have a match with Ninja Mack, with all respect, man, that's something I would look forward to, Mr. Amazing Red. If not, like I said, maybe one day in the future for something else. But I do want one day to actually meet Amazing Red and just kind of see. I mean, I'm wearing some red right now, man. But yeah, that was a name that was thrown out there. And man, I fought for that name. I was like, please, what do we got to? If I got to take less money and he gets more money to come in, we'll make it happen. But like I said, I have not been in touch with anyone. So
my alumni pick was Christopher Daniels. That is who I'm gonna throw out there. And you mentioned Low Key, and like I think that would be dope as well.
That was Low Key was the name I made a pitch for besides Amazing Red. I just, if Amazing Red couldn't come through, I would like to run it back with Low Key. He did get the best of me at Loco in Houston, and that was a couple months ago. I say I've grown in the last 4 months tremendously. So I think to take another shot at Key would have been great. But hey, anyone that's been related to Ring of Honor, it's going to be an honor to wrestle. Like everyone, if they were on that show, man, they're such a high level performer that it's not going to matter who they give me. It's going to be a great match. We're going to do some great things.
My non-Ring of Honor pick was Dante Martin. Just throw you guys out there and let you go.
Nice. That would have been a very good match.
Yeah, if I'm going non Ring of Honor alum, I'd like to see you and Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, so with all the luchas, I've known a lot of those lucha guys kind of through the Texas scene when I was coming up for a long time. Phoenix has known me. I've known those guys on and off, and fortunately, I've been hidden from all the big stars in my matches, which was good for me because now that I'm kind of getting a trend, I can go back and really get to these matches now that I've kind of grown my name. So, like I said, that's a match. Penta's a match that I'm looking forward to. I saw those guys in AAA. So those guys are the best in the world at what they do, and to ever be in the ring with them is such greatness. Like, you're just overexcited, but I still want to go hit them, ninja stuff.
Or you and Vikingo would be insane in Japan or no, Mexico, by the way.
Yeah,
like
man, I did the AAA booking. I got Vikingo in a 6-man match. It was like it was a scramble kind of formula, and I only got to work with the guy for 30 seconds, and he was so good. And to give me and Vikingo 15 minutes of ring, I think we would break the internet.
Yeah,
I really think the internet might just shut down. So, if that ever happens, like, big bet, that might be an all-in bet for sure, all in.
Ninja Mack, we appreciate you joining us today. Let the people know where they can find you besides everywhere at the Collective and WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, you can find me at Collective WrestleMania this weekend. Everything, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, everything's Ninja Mack. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm pretty active online. I'll get back to you. And if you haven't done so, go to Fightful.com, go subscribe to the Spotlight, hook them up. That's how we make our living, guys. Like, comment, share them. Let's get all of us going. So you can always bet that, and I will see you at the Collective.
Thank you. Thank you again for your time today. We'll be right back here on the Spotlight. Okay, there we go. We're right back here on the Spotlight.